Well, let's begin with how Anderson Silva thinks the main event of UFC 112 goes. And I quote, although I have to say he speaks a foreign language, so this is an interpretation of what he said. Unfortunately, not every fight turns out the way that everyone would like. No, unfortunately his fights usually don't. I came here well trained, but Demian disrespected me, not as a person, but he disrespected me as a fighter. Which is probably what everybody else is going to be doing after his performance. And I take that very seriously. Not seriously enough. I came here to do my job, and that was to beat him up and punish him, and that's exactly what I did. No, it's not exactly what you did, and even Dana White would agree. Let's hear what he has to say. He says, I don't think I've ever been more embarrassed in the 10 years of being in this business. It's the first time I've walked out on a main event, given the belt to the guy's manager, and told him to put it on him. Unfortunately, this is becoming a little bit of a habit, and it's one thing that I think the UFC now have to address, and that's that basically Anderson Silva is just not playing ball. He once again took the fight all the way to decision, and I hear that it was pretty bad. Have I watched it? No, and I have no plans to watch it. I don't need to watch it to know in my head from reading the reports exactly what it was like, because I've watched enough of his fights at title level to know that he's just, well, he's gone into a phase of just not literally being interested. And it's irritating. I think I find it irritating. I think most of his fans now find it irritating as well. I remember that a lot of fans supported him after what he did to Tarl's Lights. But I think in terms of Demian Maia, they're now beginning to see, this is becoming far, far too much of a trend. And I think the UFC really ought to start saying, there's means and ways of getting rid of him. Because that's what they need to do. It's sad, but that is what they need to do. Let's look at the rest of the card, shall we? Because I'm not sure I did very well in terms of predictions on this. It was overall a good night for the Hit Squad. 3 wins and 1 loss. Unfortunately, I predicted 2 losses and 2 wins. And the two wins that I predicted included 1 real loss. So in other words, I got 3 out of 4 predictions wrong. So anyway, the results. I went for Mustafa Al-Turk. John Madsen won. In Mustafa's defence, it was a decision win. I thought Mustafa, I think, would get some sort of TKO, but there we are. Paul Kelly defeated Matt Veach. Didn't see that coming at all, particularly not by submission. So that's another one that I got wrong there. DeMarcus Johnson defeated Brad Blackburn, and that was actually stoppage by TKO. Again, I thought that would sort of go the other way. So you can see that I'm not doing very well at all. Rick Story defeated Nick Ozipek, however you pronounce his name. That was a decision. I called that. I thought that Rick Story might be able to finish, but I thought he would win. And that's the end of Nick's perfect record, as I predicted. Excuse me. Phil Davis defeats Alexander Gustafsson. That was a submission. Again, I pretty much did alright on that. I'm going to count this one as a no contest because this one never happened. This was Paul Taylor versus John Gunderson. They said that Paul Taylor pulled out last minute because of some medical reason. I don't know what happened there, but the fight didn't happen. Gunderson didn't fight anybody else, so it's pretty much null and void any prediction made on that. Kendall Grove versus Mark Minoz. This pretty much went the way that I thought it would. Minoz won in the second round, and he won by TKO, I believe. I'm pretty glad that I've got one correct so far. I went Anderson Silva, but you know, it's not hard to not a hard one to judge, is it really? Anderson Silva by Bohr. He's cooked his chips with me. I've gone off him. I mean, I had problems with him to begin with. I thought he was fast tracked to the title, and okay, I got over that when he proved at the start of his sort of title reign that he was going to be, you know, pretty much fantastic. And then he goes and spoils it by basically, you know, he won't fight Lyoto. He wants to do boxing as well, and now he's just turning into a reactional Bohr. Well, fantastic. Now, I don't know who I chose on this one. I don't know who I chose. I think I went for Eatim, which I think is a bit of a shame, because Eatim lost in the second, even though he had... I think he had won the first round. Matt Hughes versus Renzo Gracie. You know, pretty much exactly as I called it. I don't know if Matt Hughes watches my videos, but well done for him for following it to the letter. I said I thought it would be TKO in the third. I said that I thought it would go on a little bit longer than the past Gracie match, but I thought that it would end up sort of pretty much the same. And that's basically almost exactly how it happens. It's counted as a TKO, but I think it can also sort of pretty much be said as a knockout, because it was pretty much, you know, on the feet until Gracie sort of fell down and it was called. I'm not sure we've seen that sort of clinch work from him before, and I'm not sure we've seen the sort of leg kicks that were coming out from him before. So I think as a stand-up match goes, this pretty much showed that he's now, you know, he's capable of winning on the feet. So be warned there, for those of you who believe he may be past his prime, as I keep hearing. BJ Penn versus Frankie Edgar. Those of you who know me know that I don't particularly like BJ Penn either. I will admit that he is a fantastically skilled fighter, but I don't like his character at all. Having said that, however much I wanted Frankie Edgar to win, I thought that Penn would. This looked to me like the Penn of old, who was basically fighting at welterweight and a bit blobby and, you know, just not perfect, not what he's capable of. He lost to Frankie Edgar by decision, which is not supposed to be easy to do if you're the champion and you lose by decision. So, what have they said? 50-45, 48-47 and 49-46, all for Frankie Edgar. So it was a bit of a it was a bit of a washout, I think, in terms of you know, I am pleased that Frankie Edgar has the belt. I said that he has a knack of getting names which he shouldn't be able to defeat. But I don't know what happened to Penn in that. I'm sure he has a myriad of excuses, and probably none of them are didn't do whatever I've done over the past sort of title reign in order to prepare. Because he looks like the Penn before he got the championship, the one that wasn't quite as well conditioned as he should have been. Very, very strange. And I'm not half as pleased as I thought I would be, because I thought he would eventually go out in some sort of blaze of glory, and he sort of went out as a bit of a damp squib.